Why you suck in game? Every bootcamp, I see the same thing over and over. Between sets, students keep asking very logical questions with no emotion, and they look sad and boring. We call that like leaching value. Understand that when you go out and we're trying to stay as far as possible from getting logical, emotions are the biggest way of communication, and fun is the currency. Our bootcamp students really struggle with keeping up nice energy that girls are attracted to. People want to stay as far as possible from three emotions: anxiety, depression, and lack of vitality, we call it. So anxiety, first off, is you need to be relaxed. Depression is you need to be some kind of fun. And lack of vitality, you need to drink a lot of coffee like me or something else. I always remember when we take, let's say, some students to the next venue and we have to hop on an Uber, let's say, and we go with Jeff and we're starting shooting the shit. And let's say we have like 4 or 5 students in a big Uber with us. We're gonna start like the ride, maybe it's a 15-minute ride to a different club. And at some point, after 5 minutes, we just like shut up. We don't say anything. And you know what happened? Nothing. Because the client, typical client, and don't get me wrong, I was like that too. They're not gonna say anything. And you like, me and Jeff are thinking, really? Like for the next 15 minutes, we're gonna be like shutting off and not talking at all? And you expect that we're gonna go out and having a blast and we're gonna pull some girls? Come on. So that's like really like rule like number 1, like be able to keep the vibe, building up that vibe. And the first night is all about like building this nice momentum. Another thing is like our students in general, you know, they are in their 30, 40. We got like one that is like 40 last night, but it really looks like 47 or maybe 50. And why is that? Well, if I ask myself, like, I'm 47 and I hope I don't look like any near to to 50 or 60, I hope not. You really are the average of the 5 people you hang out the most. So that's the rule number 1. If I ask myself, like, all my friends, they're all in their 30s, and they are like 10 years younger than me, all of them, sometimes 15 younger than me. So that's really like the first thing that I notice with me. The girl that I usually close, they are all between 20 and 25. And every weekend, every bootcamp for years and years, I go out in place where only like 20 and 25 years old are going. Because let's be frank, people who are 40, they don't go out. They do lame shit. They stay at home. They do their little bar, like, and I see them coming back at 10 and that's it. They call the night because they're old and tired. And I think the biggest thing is my obsession. I think for years and years, when I started like learning game, I took this mission of me of never looking old ever. In my mind, in my body, my surrounded. And if you look a little bit, like your brain is very malleable, it's very something you can shape. You can look and you can change, exactly. So when we learn something new, we are not just adding knowledge, we are physically changing the brain. And that's something that comes from a great book that I really enjoy, The Brain That Changed Itself. In other words, if you want to stay young mentally, you need new experiences, focus, and challenge. And guess what? I found all that in game. and becoming better, more successful with girls. So I wanted to show it to you, and I'm going to teach you some other like cool lessons of, let's say, not being boring and being able to talk forever, because that's a skill set, and I recognize I was not like that. That's something that I have to cultivate and learn. And when I'm making fun of the student that look old and boring and logical, I also make myself of me 10 years ago. But let's go to really like the ability to talk forever. Like how do you do that? How do you become more natural in the way you communicate and have the ability of like say whatever you want at any times and keep fucking talking? That's the biggest things. You're really going to enjoy, by the way. So what's going on to do now is like we're going to go like in 5 different rules. I learned that from Tyler, and I will allow to talk, and I'm going to lay out the rules with the goal that you basically be able to really never running out of things to say, ever again. So rule number 1, the first things is whatever you say has a value purely because it comes from me. That's super important, because if you don't think like you have all the things that you say don't have any value, it's not gonna come out. You're always gonna filter yourself. Oh no, man, that's lame. I'm just like speaking right now in front of you in this camera because I think there's value to it. Otherwise I would shut down and I would like shut the fuck up and play a video game. Rule number 2 is whatever you have to say is interesting purely because I find it interesting and compelling. If you're attracted, if you're like interesting in this video and the way I'm communicating, I'm talking, this like crazy French, like in the middle of San Francisco. By the way, beautiful area. I used to live here, and it's kind of nice city. We don't have that in San Diego. But I find it interesting what I'm saying because I'm talking about game. That's why it's so easy for me to talk about this and be able to be social and talking. So I find it interesting and compelling because that's what I like. In other words, the law of state of transference. That's another rule. So number 3, there is like the moment, don't think too much ahead. If you think too much ahead, if I'm already thinking about like the next line, the next topic of my video, the next things I'm gonna say to the girl, like what could happen, whatever, you're not present, you're not there looking at my camera. So you have to be like able to be in the moment. Whatever happen, and I'm gonna deal with it. I have the ability to flex, to adjust, and that's happening real time. So don't think ahead and don't think back, oh, I should not have said that. That's very important that you are present. Number 4 rules is lower your standard, man, about how good you have to say. And good enough, like Jeff says, is good enough. And that's super important because you go in those clubs and we all think, you know, as maybe engineer, nerd, whatever you're doing at high level, you know, finance, banking, investment, real estate, has some kind of like meaning, and it's very nerdy, and we love it because it's complex. But man, you're going in an environment where like that's the word, or butt plug. That's the new word that I'm using. And I opened with butt plug last night and it was great. Girls love it. So lower your standard, lower like everything that you're gonna say. It's gonna help you never really run out of things to say. And the number 5 rules, it's not what you say. Really, it's the energy behind how you say it, okay? So when I'm talking, I'm more focusing on like my eye contact, my presence, how loud I am, how excited I am, whatever emotion I'm gonna be doing. Like last night, I'm talking to a girl and I'm telling her like, you know, my ex-girlfriend We just got like a threesome, but I think I'm gonna dump her. I hate her. She's horrible. So we're having a threesome with this like a short girl, and she started yelling at her like, "You a fucking midget," and I was very awkward. And so I'm going in this like bizarre like story about that, and the girl is like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna keep her?" So I make this whole thing, and why is that? Because I think it's interesting, because it's so bizarre, it's so funny for me, because I'm quite bored in the club most of the time. Like, girls are asking like boring shit, so I have to make up some story that entertain myself, keep me really like having fun, and that's the key here. So important rules here, and whatever you have to say has value purely because it comes from you. I think you're really gonna like it once you have it done, because you're gonna be able to talk to anybody at any time, just free, and not a lot of people, you know, are natural with girls. And then go back to changing unnatural with a little bit of can and using a little bit of technique that we teach on bootcamp. And many people go from unnatural to natural, and I really wish like you can do that, because it's just a skill set, and from there you'll find your own style, because it's something that I really value. I did it. It took me some time to learn it again, but given the fact that, you know, in the game, the first year or two, you're gonna suck. So you might as well learn like the right way, learning and going through that learning curve. No matter what you might think about that, that's gonna be foundation, be able to talk forever. Okay, so I hope you enjoy. I really recommend like free association exercise. I really like, I did improv myself. I think it's really great when you start at the beginning. You're gonna need some training, some practice, and you can also like look our program. We're still gonna go on bootcamp like every 2 weeks roughly this year. So you can look up, like the link is in the description here, and you can look up like what city you want to come. And yeah, I'm gonna drop more value. I hope you really enjoy. I do as well. And right now I'm about to get ready for our bootcamp. The students gonna be here in less than an hour, and it's gonna be great. We're gonna pull up the van in the street of San Francisco, and hope we find some girls that like champagne. And that's it. Until next time, peace.